Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel Your Stars Align. This is Carmina, astrologer with Vedic principles and reader with the cards of truth. So today, surprise, we're gonna do a card video because I know some of you guys have been writing in the comments, hey Carmina, I subscribe to this channel for card videos. We need more card videos. I hear you. So your questions have been answered today. I'm going to be doing a follow-up on my Jack videos. I'm gonna post the link somewhere here to the uh, Jack cards in theory. And right now we're gonna be doing the Jack cards in practice. And what better practice study material for the Jack card and the chart of Michael Jackson? Get it? Okay, so I'm gonna start sharing my screen, but before that, let me remind you that my website is yourstaralign.com. You can see there, you can find articles that I wrote about case studies with the cards of truth and also some other topics, astrological topics and classes that I'm teaching in the future, in the past. By the way, this Saturday, which is going to be June 30, I'm going to be teaching a class on underlying and overlying cards. It's going to be more like a workshop, and we're going to be seeing how they play out in your chart, the underlying overlying cards. Okay, so right now let's focus on the topic, which is the Jack cards. I'm gonna share my screen. And this is Michael Jackson's card spread. Okay, so I guess everyone knows who Michael Jackson was. He was a very popular entertainer, and if you look at his chart, Michael Jackson doesn't have any Jack in his personal planets, but he has a Jack here in the Pluto card. And since we were talking about the underlying cards, he has this same Jack of clubs as an underlying card to his birth card, which is the 10 of hearts. So this underlying cards shows what the 10 of hearts comes from. So this extremely popular, the 10 of hearts is like rewards of the heart, so it can show a great amount of popularity. And this 10 of heart emerges from this Jack of clubs and evolves as a 5 of spades. So this is the evolution cycle of the Jack of the Jack of clubs. So what does that exactly mean? Well, the Jack of clubs, as you know from the theory video, is someone who is very interested in making a lot of plans, starting a lot of things, starting a lot of new projects. Of course, you also know that all the Jack cards relate to the Uranus card of self-expression. So all the Jacks are about, expressing the self, and especially the Jack of clubs likes to express the self through creativity, through their inspiration intellectually. So I think this Jack of clubs is a very important player in Michael Jackson's chart because for one thing, it's the past of his birth card, and it's also the card where the Pluto card. So the Pluto card is where we invest a lot of our ego. It's and also where our plans fail us and we get a lot of ego bruising. So we can see here that whenever he was making a lot of plans, whenever he was expressing his creativity through different projects. His ego was always getting a bit of bruising. And it's interesting that in his chart he also has this 3 of clubs, which of course the jacks contain the energy of ace, 2 and 3 of clubs. So, and especially the ace of clubs, but also the 3 of clubs, which is the independent thinker, which is, you know, proving yourself, proving your ideas, taking a risk with your ideas. So it's very interesting to see how that played out for him in his life. And we're going to be looking at some important moments in his life and how the jacks played out. Okay, so first we have here when he was age 17. He was age 17, he was running this Jack of Hearts on his ecliptic card. Here, if you have the Kala software or the card software, you can look for a person, for a birth card, what ecliptic card can you expect for every year. So if we look at Michael Jackson, we don't see any jacks as his ecliptic, except for age 17 and 62 when he would be running, you know, a Jack of Hearts. So that age 17 for him was super important, especially because we know that the Jack of Hearts is it's a fixed card. So it shows a change in attitude that is going to have lifelong effects. So an important change that has to do with feeling, with passion, because that's what hearts are all about. It can be a new beginning, it can be a new love or a child, but in his case it was a new professional beginning, and that beginning will have long-lasting effects. So, 1 second here. So let's see what happened for Michael Jackson at age 17 when he was running this nice Jack of Hearts. At age 17, he and his brothers, who were known as the Jackson 5, decided to change record company. So they went from, you know, they scored a record deal, and they their former record house recording company, Motown Records, was giving them less creative freedom. So in 1975, they decided to switch their record company, and you can see that was a very important change for Michael Jackson, since he is running that Jack of Hearts here. And we can also see that he is running an 8 of diamonds in the Saturn card. Of course, that's not ideal because we don't know what happened behind the scenes, but you know, it's a financial opportunity that came a bit late, or it came with some struggle, it came with some conflicts. I'm sure there was a lawsuit or something, some legal issues between the two companies, the former company and the current record company, because they even had to change their names from Jackson 5 to the Jacksons. So this is what happened, and it's seen very clearly that this Jack, or this 10 of Hearts birth card, would have an important life event at age 17. So not only Michael Jackson, but you know, every person who's a 10 of Hearts birth card can expect something life-changing at age 17. And the grandeur, the magnitude of that event depends, of course, on their birth chart, because not everybody is born to be worldwide famous. And okay, so this was happening, let's see next, 1975. Then in 1976, the Jacksons released their first album with this new company. And they released it in this period. You can see his ecliptic was a two of clubs. So two of clubs is it can be intellectual, creative collaboration, coming together creatively with something, so working on something. And you can see here they released, I think, their album in November. So it was an ace of diamonds card that was running. So a new financial potential. And before that, while they were recording, and they were also, I think they also released a single in this, and during this time he was running this jack of clubs, which we already established that is his Pluto card, and also his underlying you know, 10 of hearts card. And a little spoiler for the underlying overlying cards, since the birth card doesn't appear in one spread during their lifetime, the underlying and overlying cards are really important because they show, they trigger events, important events. So you can already see that this age 18 is important because the card that is running that year is an eight of clubs, and that's another fixed card, and that relates to some sort of you know, intellectual self-fulfillment. And that card is also running in his 7-year progression for age 19, but it doesn't matter if it's for age 19 here because it takes effect in all these 7 years. And you can see he was having here this jack of clubs with the Saturn here, so probably there were some delays, there were some you know, some creative differences probably with his brothers when he was recording the album, because you can see here the third cusp is involved, which is the siblings. So, and he was in a band with his siblings, and you can see here the fourth cusp. So maybe he was also having problems at home and problems with his peace of mind. But we know because of this Pluto card, whenever this card would show up, it would activate his natal Pluto. So he would get a lot of ego bashing in this regard. So he would, you know, but Pluto is good in the sense that it purifies the intention of that card. So hopefully the lessons that bashed his ego made him a better writer, a more creative person. So let's see what's happening after that. Okay, then in 1978, Jackson started his acting career. He starred as Scarecrow in the film musical The Wiz. So let's see, 1978. Yes, you can see in 1978, we don't see any jacks here, but we see this three of hearts, which is like a new passion. So his passion was music, and now he was trying a new passion, which was acting. And the thing about this musical that he starred in, it was not really a box office success, and it was not well received by the critics. The only thing that was well received by the critics was his acting. So he was actually praised for his role as the Scarecrow. And you can also see that his life path card was active during that year when he played that role. And also when he played the Scarecrow role, he met Quincy Jones, which is going to be an instrumental person for his career, because later on Quincy Jones will help him record his album Off the Wall, that really left everyone in shock, because they didn't expect such joy and such creativity from his solo albums. Okay, so Yes. Let's see here. At age 20. At age 20, this is when I think yes, this is when his album Off the Wall came out. So you can see here a Jack of Diamonds. The Jack of Diamonds is kind of the salesman card. It's the person there that's not a salesman who tricks you, but it's a salesman who gives you something that makes a transaction with you because you're worth it. In this Saturn position, it can also be that you're kind of working, you're in service to a person who's kind of like a salesman. So you can see here definitely the connection to his album because his 10th cusp is here, his 9th cusp of purpose is here with this Jack of Diamonds, and also this Three of Hearts here because it's a solo album. It's something that he did although he was still playing in the band with his brother, the Jacksons. This six of clubs is very auspicious for career fulfillment. This eight of clubs is very auspicious for fulfillment with your inspiration. And here on the moon card with Jupiter and the moon and the second cusp of financial resources, and also in the 7-year spread he was running this eight of diamonds. All of these things, they point to success that year. And especially you see here this Jack of Diamonds, like an opportunity, a financial opportunity, which was this Off the Wall album that was very well received by both the critics and the public, who found that Michael found his happiness and creative joy since he was, in the Jackson 5 in his childhood days. So they hadn't seen him so happy since his childhood days, singing with so much joy. And also he had like a new image. He was like wearing a tuxedo and his trademark white socks. So this is also a very Jack of Diamonds promotional kind of thing that was happening. So I'm also gonna tell you about this. At age 18, now at age 19, I think, no, at age 20, he broke his nose during a dance act, so he had to undergo a rhinoplasty. So here in the 7-year card, you can see that he's running a Jack of Spades. I know it's not at age 20, but it is connected to age 20 because Saturn is here. So, the Jack of Spades is the person who has to do whatever it takes to survive, like the soldier. In some combinations, it can also indicate some issues with your health, so struggling to work them. So you can see here how this Saturn, this 8th cusp is surgery, and here in this Jack of Spades, it influenced his career, his relationship to the public, his fans, because after the rhinoplasty, after he had his nose surgery, so many people had so many different opinions on that. So it definitely marked a change in the public's opinion about him. I mean, it was something difficult, but it didn't stop him to move forward. So I guess that's about it for today for the Jack video featuring Michael Jackson. I hope you enjoyed the example. I'm gonna be doing more card videos soon. I'm gonna also be doing more musician videos and more astrology videos. And don't forget about the classes that I love teaching, usually on the weekends, because that's when we all have more time. So this Saturday, Cards of Truth webinar on underlying overlying cards, and this Sunday we're going to be having outer planets in the natal chart and in transit, co-hosted with Levi Kozin. So see you later. Bye.